Alrighty, so I'm just letting some more people in. They keep coming in. Life and Health in Connecticut, awesome. So you already are licensed. If you are licensed, are you doing something already in the field? Like are you already doing a business or are you working for somebody already? You just passed Life and Health. Congratulations. You've got this. The Florida one, you've got it. Congratulations. All right, so okay. North Chicago. Awesome. So it looks like a lot of you are taking your test very shortly. That's awesome. Good luck on that. Everything. Just go in with a good feelings. Go out and just crush it. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, you're never going to use anything that's on that test anyway. So get through it as quickly as possible. If you haven't taken the test, just cram. Do the whole memorization thing and just cram because I studied for 2.5 weeks, literally like 4 hours straight, and it was so hard for me. So hard for me. But I'm really bad at taking tests. So that is not my thing. It's not what I do best. So if I had known I could just like memorize it and just go take the test and then learn the business after the fact, then that would have been easier. But so if you have not taken the test, just cram it. Independent working with supplemental benefits. Awesome. Illinois. Awesome. So it looks like a lot of you are already licensed. So I am going to just get started. I'm going to share with you what we do here in our agency. So what you do with it, that's up to you. But I'm just going to kind of give you an idea of what I do as an agency owner, and what it looks like if you wanted to do just like the broker aspect where you're an agent on your own, you're writing your own business, you're making money. We'll go over that part. And then I will go over like what it looks like to build. So if you're looking for something that builds residual income, making money when you're sleeping, that's what we're going to get into. And that's kind of the whole goal with everything that we talk about today is showing you what it looks like because a lot of people are scared of this. So I'll kind of go into all of that. But what I'll do is I'll just kind of give you a little break background about myself. My name is Charmaine Cross. My husband and I do this business together. He also has a job outside of the home also. So I typically will do all these Zooms and everything together, and then he helps me on the backside with production and all the things like that. So we both came into this industry a long time ago. He worked at USA as a property and casualty person, like customer service rep, 25, 26 years ago. And then I started in 2004. So I worked at USA for 15 years in the property and casualty aspect of insurance, just doing customer service. We did still do sales, but it wasn't like a sales job. Like we didn't get commission. It wasn't anything like that. It was just like they expected you when you're talking about auto insurance to mention life insurance or mention other products that we had to offer at that time. But it was a great job, great career while it was there. But it was that thing where you are stuck and you're not making more money. Like it just doesn't go up at a certain time. Once you're in a place like I had been there for 15 years, and my commission or my pay only went up. I think when I left it was $24 an hour after 15 years in the company. And I was like, you know what? This is not keeping up with our lifestyle with 5 teenagers. We had two that were about to go to college. And I was just like, there's just no way that I need to do something where I have the ability to make more money. And I came across this opportunity to start a life insurance business. And at the time, I was like, don't know what it is, don't know what it means, but I'm in. Like, it's if I can work from home and I can make unlimited money, I'm in. That's all I needed to know. And so right at that time is when I started to get licensed. And I've been doing it now since February of 2023. It's a lot of fun. But this QR code is just here to connect you with me. So if you are interested in any of it, just fill that out and I will contact you and I'll send you my cell phone number and everything like that. I'll show it again at the end too. So if you missed it, I'll show it at the end and I will put my cell phone and everything in the comments so we can connect. But let's go ahead and get started. All right, so tonight I just like I said, I wanted to show you the two ways that you can partner with us. One is as a broker making money protecting families. So you're doing the production, you're making the commission, it's all you. Okay, you're doing it by yourself. And then the other is as an agency builder creating residual income and time freedom. So I'll show you that as well. Now, what does it look like to be a remote life insurance broker and what does it take? So I'm going to go down and kind of give you a breakdown of what an everyday would look like as a broker, as an agent for yourself, and then like what it all takes, like all the things. So we'll go over all that too. So first off, what is it going to take to work for yourself? Okay? There, if you've never worked for yourself and you've always had a job, it's going to be an adjustment. Okay, there's not going to be someone sitting here telling you exactly what to do every minute of every day. That's kind of something that you will have to do on your own is figure out how and when everything fits within your day. Okay, so it's going to take time, energy, patience, mental toughness. Like if you are somebody that, get your feelings hurt if someone hangs up on you, or you get your feelings hurt when somebody's coaching you and kind of giving you constructive criticism, this might not be for you. It takes belief in yourself. You have to believe that you can make big things happen when you're starting your own business. You don't want to start your own business and have no belief in yourself because then you're just never going to go anywhere. So you want to believe in yourself and see the vision of what's possible. And then it also does take investing into yourself and your business. So when you are doing a business on your own, a 1099 business where it's commission only, there are some things you're going to have to invest in. You're going to have to, if you don't have customers waiting at your door to write policies for, you're going to have to figure out how to get your own clients, whether that's leads and you're investing to buy leads, whether it is investing in networking groups or it's investing in whatever it might be. You will have to invest some money into your business in order for it to continue to grow. Now, this is what the system is. Okay, so as a broker, here is what the system is here. We have training and mentorship. So you complete onboarding your training modules, and then you'll meet with your mentor, me, to map out goals and strategy. Number two, you invest in leads. Leads equal people asking for insurance or for help with insurance. And what we say about like the average on that is the successful people tend to spend about 10% of whatever amount of money they're looking to make. So if you want to make 2,000 a week, you would think that you're going to spend about 200 a week in order to find enough clients to get the policies issued for $2,000 a week. Okay. So it's just kind of a rule of thumb, and it's pretty average. Like when people are looking at their numbers, like there's people that make $10,000 a week, but they're spending $1,000 a week for leads. So that's for that. Now, if you have your own leads generating system or you have your own social media, or I do a lot of social media, but if you have like something like that where you can generate your own clients and you're making plenty of money just by that, that you don't think you need to go elsewhere and buy leads, that is completely up to you. But I'm just kind of giving you a rule of thumb of what successful people do in this business specifically here. Number three, you dial those leads, okay? When you buy them, you want to call them. You paid for them, you want to get in contact with those clients, so you call them until you can get a hold of them. You practice your scripts, practice talking to the clients. You get comfortable with overcoming different objections, okay? You're going to hear objections nonstop in this industry. Doesn't mean that the client doesn't need coverage. Usually you caught them at a bad time, their money's tight at that moment. So it doesn't mean specifically when they're saying they are giving you an objection that they don't ever need coverage or they won't ever need coverage. You make not friendships, but like you build rapport with them. You let them know, like, if it's not, now's not the time, you can always contact me later, whatever it looks like, okay? But you get comfortable overcoming those objections. When they tell you no, or I need to talk with my spouse, you're just going to be like, okay, you're going to get comfortable with saying, okay, I understand, whatever, however you decide to do that, but you will get comfortable with that. And then the fourth thing, you prepare for appointments. So once you set an appointment, when you're dialing those leads, we prepare for the appointments. You review the client's information and have solutions ready for them. In the beginning, I do not expect anyone to know exactly what to offer for a client. I expect that it's going to take time to learn underwriting with different carriers. In the beginning, we do tell you it's probably good to pick a couple of carriers that you are comfortable with, get good at that carrier, learn their underwriting, learn all of the things before going out and getting all the carriers. So we have up to, I think, 50 or 60 different carriers you can eventually contract with. I'm going to be honest, I probably use seven. Seven that you find have a good underwriters. They are good at, getting the policies written. You can contact the underwriters if you have a client that gets declined. You find the carriers that you like the best and you go with those few, get really good at them. Then if you need to expand, you can. But we will help you with preparing for those appointments. So if you have an appointment and you're like, I don't know what to do, we'll say, okay, based on this, I would say recommend this. There's a few options that you can offer. You run those appointments. That's the fifth thing. You meet with the client, you build rapport, find out what they were initially looking for. Why did they initially think to do life insurance? What made them think about it? Let them tell you why. Let them tell you what's important for them. You talk and just let them speak. Maybe ask some questions to find out where their mindset is. Those are all things that you do in the appointment with that client. That first call is really just kind of like an order taker. You're figuring out what maybe medical stuff they have. That's before you're preparing for the appointment. But for the appointment, that is where you will actually show them options, and your goal in that appointment is to protect them and write an application. So it's to get them protected. That's the whole goal of everything that you do here, is getting the client protected. And then you rinse and repeat. You do it all over again. Invest in leads, dial the leads, prepare for appointments, run appointments, again, back and forth, keep doing it. So that is as a broker, okay? It's basically, you're just in the first little bit, you're just learning the system. It doesn't take long. We show you exactly what we do, exactly what you need to say, exactly where you need to click. All the things are there in the training portion. You just have to then go for it for the rest of it. So if you are not going to be investing in leads, which, like I said, if you have a way to generate your own, or you have enough people in your warm market to make enough money, I'm going to tell you, it's very hard to get your family to let you write a policy. I'm just going to say that right now. I think I've written two policies for anyone in not my personal, like my small family, but extended family. I think I've only written two policies for anyone, and I have a big, huge family. So it's going to come from people that are either, like I do a lot for people that are friends and family, or friends on the internet, social media friends, and then also the leads. So there is that. And I will definitely we'll do questions and stuff. If you have questions that come up, if you want to put it in the chat, and then we can go back to it, because I want to get through this as quickly as possible. That way, at the end, if you guys have questions, we can get back through everything and go back to it. Now, here is how we do it. So, basically, here is the system. So we have our agency. The HQ is our system that houses all of our things, our platforms, our CRMs. It houses everything. And then we have training, which is Summit. It's a whole training system. There's starts at the beginning when you first get licensed and takes you all the way through to if you want to go into advanced markets and writing retirement and doing annuities. It goes through all of that along with agency building. In the beginning, when you're first starting out, you're just going to go through the basic getting started. That's all the steps you need to take. You do not need to go through all of it until you're ready to take that next step, okay? Quility Leads Marketplace. We have our own in-house generated leads. So those are, you don't have to worry about them not being compliant. You don't have to worry about them being on a do not call list. Anyone that you get from any lead that you purchase from that marketplace is guaranteed that it is going to be a TCPA compliant lead. So you won't ever get in trouble for calling out to them or anything like that. Like if you're calling cold calling people and you're just dialing the numbers, if they're on a certain list, you could get in trouble for things like that. So this is people that have actually reached out and asked for either quotes, they saw something online, we mailed something to them, they called in, whatever it might be, but they are all in-house generated. And then we have a new, which is not on this thing here, but this Quility switchboard right here, that is our was our CRM. We have one now that is called Switchboard Funnel, and it is a much, much, much better system. It allows like you to put in a certain amount of leads, and you start a dialing, like a dialing session. You select how many you want to do, and it'll just auto dial those clients for you until somebody picks up. When the client picks up, it pulls up their information, what they submitted, all if they had their age, their address, whatever was on this information that they submitted will be on your screen right there to see. And it is so super cool. It's now to the point where once you have the client on the phone, you plug in everything. You start asking them questions. Okay, what's your date of birth? What is, going down the line? And it's going to, at that point too, give you just what you're putting in on the right hand side. It's already generating quotes with different carriers that we have. So it's like kind of getting you prepared. And then if you put in like a certain disease that this client has, and maybe one carrier doesn't work well with that disease, that carrier will just drop off and it won't show up there anymore. So as long as you're filling in their medical information, their medications and everything accurately, you should be able to see a pretty accurate quote on the right hand side, and you can then go ahead and apply directly from there, which is amazing. And then Navigator is a quoting tool, but now that Funnel has it kind of incorporated in everything, you don't have to necessarily use both because you can just use Funnel and it does it all together. But it's there and you can use it still even if you're not using Funnel. So if you decide you want to just use your cell phone to call clients, totally fine too. You do not have to use the CRM, but then you would then use Navigator to start your quotes and stuff like that. The digital insurance products. So that is something that is their insurance products written specifically for our company. So there's about, I think, 8 or 9 different carriers that have written a product specifically for Symmetry Quility. And so those specific digital products are not able to be offered to anyone else outside of our company. So if, say, there was a Mutual of Omaha product and I was writing it for a client and they decided for some reason not to go with me and they went with somebody else that was with Mutual of Omaha and they wanted that same product, they couldn't get it unless that agent was also with our company. So there's about, like I said, 8 or 9 of them. Some of them are IULs, some of them are final expense, some of them are term. There's just different ones for each one, but it's an amazing thing and it's a higher commission for us as well. Any of those digital products that are written specifically are all at the higher commission rate for us. All right, so how do you make money? And these I'm going to go through, I'm not going to go through super detailed because you can kind of figure all that out. We all start at 80% commission. So every person who signs up in this business start at 80% commission for the policies, for all of our core products. Now, does that mean every single policy is 80%? No, it does not. The core products start at the 80% commission, but then within each insurance carrier, they have a ton of products, and those products can vary from all different commission rates. Some of them I did a short-term disability policy the other day, it was 10% commission. That is wild because that product takes forever to do and you're only making 10%. But if you're writing a term product with a certain carrier, you would start is probably going to be the 80% commission. So then we have a whole spreadsheet that tells each product with each carrier and what the commission rate is for that. So then you're not surprised when you go write a policy and then it's not what you think it was. I did that when I first started. I was expecting 80% on the kids policy and that commission was only 30%. So I was like, dang, I thought I was going to make this much money and it was only this much. But you just learn as you go. Now, one thing I did want to share is that when you are partnered here, so this is a big deal for me. When I chose this specific company, I didn't want to go with a company that paid me at the end of the week or paid me from whatever. Like I didn't want to have it set to where the company paid me. I want the carriers to pay me when I'm writing business. So when I'm writing a policy, I want to be able to be paid in 24 to 48 hours of it being approved. And so that was super important to me, is that I didn't want to say, okay, I'm partnered with this company, they'll pay me next Friday or at the end of the month with my commissions that I made throughout that time. That was not something that I wanted, and I wanted it to come directly from the carriers, so I didn't have to wait until a payday or whatever it might be. So if I issue something today, I would have payment depending on what time you issue it, but 24 to 48 hours is what you can expect the carriers to get your commission. Now, here is kind of just a quick little tip about the commission structure. So it starts at 80%. Every agent here starts at 80%. Now, I don't know how many companies that y'all have been with, or if you've been with a company where you were able to increase your pay 15% within 3 months. It's not very likely. I mean, I was getting a 2 to 3% raise at my job for 15 years and still I don't think ever increased 15% even during that whole time. Maybe I did, but it didn't seem like it. So we have two different ways that you can increase your commission. You can increase it in 6 months all the way to 95%, or you can do it as fast as 3 months. It's up to you. You come in, you write business, you get going right off the bat, you start working the system, plugging in, doing everything. If you do that, there has been a lot of people that increase within those 3 months. So the first month, if you hit 5,000 in issued business, it would go up to 85%. The next month, 7,500, it would go up to 90%. And then the next month, if you did 12,500 in issued business, it would go up to 95%. That's the fast track. That's getting there in 5% every single month just by doing your production. The left side here is if you wanted to do it more on the slower track and maybe you wanted to learn stuff more and you wanted to figure things out before you got going fully. 2 months in a row, 2,500 in business would go up to 85%. The next 2 months, you can do 5,000. 2 months in a row, it would go up to 90%. Then the next 2 months, you do 10,000 in a row. 2 months in a row, go up to 95. So it's a little higher, faster. Like on the fast track, you got to have more each month, and it goes up each month, like higher than what the slower track does. So you could do 15% in 3 months or 15% in 6 months. Either way, 15% in 6 months is still pretty darn good. Pretty good. So this is kind of a quick, just a breakdown of what it looks like to get paid and work this business part-time. Okay. Average is about 15 to 20 hours a week. Those are averaging about 6 policies placed per month, which brings the total, like if you break everything down, I'm not going to go through all of it, but you can be about 69,000 in a year just from writing 6 policies per month. Now your commission rate will go up as you are writing. If you're writing a lot of business, it's going to be going up. So you're not going to be at that 90% commission rate very long. If you're doing 6,000 in the first month, it'll go up to 85. So it could be even higher than that. Now, what the carriers do is they pay you. So I'm just going to go based on a $1,000 premium. The average is about 1,200 right now. Thousand's easier to figure out with money wise. So 1,200, like say there's $1,000 policy that you issue and your commission's 80%. You're getting $800 as your full commission. Now, what the carriers do is they will pay you. Let me put my calculator. So say $1,000 times 80%, $800. Okay, carriers are going to advance 75% of that upfront. So then you get a $600 advance commission that next day or 24 to 48 hours. Then the other 25%, so that other 200, they'll pay that in months 10, 11, and 12 of that policy being issued. As long as it stayed on the books that full time, you'll get that last 200 in the last 3 months of the year. That's how that works. So carriers pay you 75% of it up front, and then they save the other 25% for the end of the year. And that's just to help. It actually protects all of us, because if they were to pay all of it up front and someone canceled the policy on month 2, then you're stuck paying all of that commission back to the carrier as a chargeback. And so I think for me, the way that I look at it is it kind of gives me a little bit of a cushion, and I use that part for taxes. So whatever I get at the end of the year from a policy, I put that straight away for taxes. Alrighty, next. Where is it not going? There we go. I'm like, why was it not moving? I was hitting next. I wasn't going. All right. So then full-time agent, like this is just an example, 35 to 40 hours per week. People that are doing full time, and most people are doing closer to 30,000 a month like that. So in a case like this where you're doing 30 to 40 or 35 to 40 hours a week, most people, and I'm seeing a lot of this on our team, is they're averaging closer to 30,000 in a month, like 25 to 30 versus 18. So here it shows you the average, like if we're averaging things, 18,000, but what we're seeing is there's a lot of different ways to make that go up, and I'll show you some of them in a little bit. But if you're doing full time, 40 hours a week, 20 policies a month, you can expect at the end of the year about 205,000. That is the potential that you have if you're putting the work in. Okay. This will not work for someone who always has excuses. It will not work for somebody who it sees the negative in everything. It'll not work for somebody who's like, oh, I don't want to buy leads. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. It never works for those people. So if you want to have a potential of making $205,000 in a year just on your own production, we haven't even got into building aspect of anything. That's a lot of money. That's doctor type of money. Like I know friends that are physician assistants that don't make that much money, and they went to school for so many years, and this costed what, $350 maybe for a license, and you can potentially make that and didn't have to go to college. Like the potential is so great here, but you have to put the effort in. And it will not work. Being a business owner is not for the weak, and it's not for the people that complain and any of that stuff. So, and I don't look for people like that. If I have somebody that right away says, I don't want to buy leads, or I don't believe in any of that, I don't want to invest in myself, it's an automatic. Find something else because this isn't going to be for you. So here are the core specialties. So in our agency specific, our company as a whole was built on mortgage protection. Now, what is mortgage protection? It's life insurance, but it is what we do is we send out, like we have a way that anyone who gets a new mortgage, we can send out little postcards to them that talk about getting life insurance that protects your mortgage in the event that you are sick, disabled, or pass away, unfortunately. Okay. It says that on there, and it says you can call, you can go online, or you can mail something in. And so at that point, they call in, they say, okay, I need this coverage. And then you call them, and that's where that all started. And that's what most of our business is actually still today, is mortgage protection. Then we also have final expense coverage. Everyone's aware what that is. It pays for final expenses at the end of someone's life. It's a whole life policy. It lasts forever. You can write them up to age 80. So depending on their health, but you can write them up to age 80. Critical illness policies, and you do have to have a health license for this. So if you don't have health license, you can't do critical illness yet, but you can always get it. So critical illness is going to be like cancer, heart attack, stroke policies. And these are so important. If you are anywhere around, like, I don't know, but I know so many people in their 40s even that are having cancer, strokes, so many different things. So many people that I know, critical illness policy will pay out upon diagnosis. So someone gets diagnosed with cancer, they go up to 100,000, pays out directly as soon as the diagnosis happens. Okay. Those are some policies that you can talk to about people that, if you have somebody who's like, I don't want life insurance, that's just death or whatever. This is something that they can use that will help their family for treatments, or just not if they can't work for a while. There are such good policies, and those are through Mutual of Omaha, but they're such amazing policies. And if you do full critical illness, it covers more than just those three that I mentioned. There's like some other ones in there, but it's such a good policy. And then kids policies. A lot of people don't even realize how important it is to have kids coverage or kids insured. The biggest thing that I like to do is make sure that people understand that having something in place early, it keeps you insurable forever. So if you don't get any sort of coverage, this just happened to my cousin a year and a half ago. Her daughter was 14, got diagnosed with she had a tumor in her stomach somewhere, but she never issued her a child's policy before all that happened. And so now she went through chemo and she did all the other things. So she is technically uninsurable now until she has a period of time with that she has been cancer free with no medication. So she's like kicks herself every day because she never did it. She's like, she was 14 years old and I had never done a policy for her. But you don't know what you don't know. And this is why it's so important to educate people. Now, critical period coverage. That is something that we call it CPC coverage. And this is more for those people that are older that maybe also have health issues and they're not going to qualify for full mortgage payoff or full, if they want 500,000, they're probably not going to qualify for that because they have some kind of issue. Critical period coverage is a whole life policy that you can say, okay, the mortgage payment is $2,000. We can get them 12, 6 months of mortgage payments so that it keeps their family in the home for 6 months after that person passes away. So it's buying the families of the person time with just at least having enough to pay those mortgage payments. And that is a really important, like very, very popular thing, especially because you see so many people that are older and they're so ill and they have so many medications that it's so hard for them to qualify for anything. This is able to give them some kind of coverage and give their family a little bit of peace of mind that their house isn't going to foreclose in 3 months when they can't pay the payments. So that is one we use a lot here in our company specifically because we do deal with a lot of mortgage protection. So if someone calls in for 500,000, they're 76 years old and they have all these medications and medical issues. We can't really get you this, but here's what we could do. And it gives them that buying them time type of thing. Now, here on the bottom, so those are all the top ones are all policies that you can write specifically right now for yourself. When you get started, you can do all that. But we also have a focus right now in our company with debt-free life. There is over $17 trillion in consumer debt in the US. And we learned this at our conference. And so our focus here is we have a product that is a whole life product. And there's something that we do. They take all your debts, all your payments, all your interests, and plug it into a system. And it tells you and how to pay certain things off. It's just a whole system with what to do first. Anyways, it gets people out of debt in 9 years or less without paying any more than they're currently paying on their bills currently. And that's including their mortgage. So it's something that if, say, you're talking to a client, they maybe don't need coverage or they decide they don't want life insurance, but then you start talking to them about, debt and retiring and different things like that. And you hear them say, oh my God, we have so much debt. Don't know how we're going to ever retire. We know that people like that in our regular lives that you can also use this for. But when you're talking to a client, that when someone says, I don't know how I'm going to ever retire, I have so much debt, that is a number one way that you can say, okay, I have a specialist on my team that can help you pay off your debt in 9 years or less, including your mortgage, without spending any more money than you're currently spending right now. Would that help you out in your life or however you want to word it? Then we have people on our team that already are like specialists in that area. We refer them to that person and then they split commission with the referring agent. So if I referred somebody over to Amanda, she's writing the debt-free life policy. She would get 60%. I would get 40% as the referring agent. I don't have to write the policy myself, but I'm still making commission because I uncovered that they have a lot of debt and I sent it off to Amanda. Amanda's getting a free lead from me because I uncovered that and she's making 60% on that. So it's something that's there. It's an extra stream of income for an agent or a broker. And then you can also, if that's something you wanted to do in the future, you get certified to do that. So once you've written a good business and everything and you have built trust in the company, you can go to a training, learn debt-free life, and then you can be a subject matter expert. So it's super, super cool. And then we have something similar with tax-free retirement. So if you find out someone has an old 401k that's sitting somewhere and they've just not been doing anything with it, you can refer that over and we can look into what it would be to maybe do an annuity or put it into like an IUL, a tax-free type of way that they can retire without getting, IRS everywhere taking all your money. It's tax-free because it's in a life insurance product and it's amazing. But those are two things that you can refer out and still make income without having to do the policies yourself. So that's one thing that we are really focusing now too is just making sure that our clients are taken care of all the way around. Do they have the life insurance? Are they going to be out of debt soon? Is their retirement looking good? And not having to go to like a tax advisor or like a financial aid, like broker or whatever they call them. This is a way that they can help. I'm gonna take a drink because that was a lot of talking. Alrighty, so next, These are just a few of the carriers that we work with. So we do have partnerships, like I said, with over 50. It is unrealistic to have all 50 and get good at any of them. So for me, I focus on, like I said, I have seven that I use. I probably focus more on about four of them. Get good with them. You learn the underwriting, you learn what the products are, you learn what kind of people can get approved at that carrier. Because there's some that are good with diabetics, there are some that are going to be better with um, you know, heart issues. There are going to be some that are better with high blood pressure or cancer, that things like that. And you'll learn those as you go, but you want to get good with a few, learn their systems, learn their underwriting, learn their commissions, and then if you need to start adding, or you can add when you can't find a certain product for a client. That's when I usually will go out to different carriers. If someone gets declined and I'm like, guess I got to go out to Transamerica, or I guess I got to go to wherever. So that's just kind of how I do mine. Alrighty, now I'm going to go over the agency builder. So this is how we go over residual income. So if you want to make money when you're sleeping, this is what you want to pay attention to. Okay. So why I chose this specific company when I decided to become a life insurance broker is because of the agency ownership program. There's not really any company out there that has it to where you contractually own your business. Even like there's one of my mentors, he was with Primerica for I think 20 years, did really well there. I mean, he had like, I think he said he was at like 250 a year, 250,000 a year, had a pretty big team. But then when he came or heard about this, like where he had been there 20 years, was making 250,000. He came here and was like, I can build something that I can pass down to my family. I can give it to, my grandkids down the line. They can continue getting paid on my efforts. Sign me up. And so when he came over here, he's been here like 13 years now. He went from making $250,000 a year, which is still great, to now he has a $40 million agency here, and all of that is passive. He doesn't write business. He hasn't written business since he started here. He has just developed people that wanted to build their own agency. So he has made all of his money, $40 million. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't make 40 million a year. He's probably like, I would say he's probably close to 200,000 per month, where he was at 250 per year before. This was able because he was able to build leaders and grow leaders, that he was able to build something bigger than what he ever expected. And this is just the biggest reason why most people do come to our company, is because of this program. And once you're signed and it's yours for good. If you decide to sell it later, you can sell it to somebody. If you decide you want to retire, you can pass it down to your family. They would just, whoever you gave it to would just have to have a license, because contractually carriers can't pay somebody if they're not licensed. So whoever you gave that business to would have to be licensed. But I mean, it costs you $350 to get licensed. So we are just like, okay, well, we have 21-year-old, a 20-year-old, and then three 17-year-olds. Well, you guys better get licensed so that you can get our business when we die. So that's kind of why, the biggest reason why I chose this company. Now, like I said, would you rather be paid only when you work? So you are sitting at your desk, you're only getting paid while you're sitting at your desk, making phone calls, doing whatever you need to do, writing business, running appointments? Or would you rather get paid all the time, even when you're not working? You're getting paid when you're sleeping, when you're on vacation. That is kind of, for me, that was the whole goal. And the time freedom is a big thing for me. Our kids, we have two in college right now and three about to go to college next year. And let me just tell you, having five kids in college is freaking me out, because I'm like, okay, well, what if they're in like all five different places and we have to like get to them? And how do you do that if you have a job and you have to do all these things? So this, I'm able to work anywhere. I can work as long as I have some kind of Wi-Fi, I can still work my business. So that was another huge reason why this was a big deal for me. So I'm going to show you the system here for agency building. So obviously we start as a broker. Everyone does need, you do need to, if you don't have income, that's how you make income. Okay. Starting as an agent, starting as a broker, your production is what is your now money. Okay. Your now money is your production. And then you build for the legacy money. And that's what the rest of this is going to be. So you learn the basics as a broker, you do the trainings, mentorships, practice running the appointments, and you're building credibility with helping the families first. So you're learning what it means to talk to families and present them options and get the policies issued. You are learning that in step number one. Then you share the opportunity. You find other people that are interested in working from home, making extra money. Maybe they are wanting an extra income. They still have a job that they love, but they would like to make an extra $3,000 to $5,000 a month or $1,000 a month, one policy a month, whatever it looks like. You share that this is an option for them, and then you get them plugged into the system. So new agents are going to go through the same training you went in. So if you have a sister or a cousin or somebody that they can't stand their job, or the commute's just getting too much, or they're missing their kids' activities, you can offer this to them as something they can start part-time to make a little extra money. And then they can decide what happens from there. If they want to make it bigger and go make more money, they can. If they want to just do whatever they were doing, then that's fine too. But you plug them in, they do the same training you did. You're going to mentor them on how they buy leads and dialing and setting appointments and running the appointments. You're not going to do the work for them. Like I wouldn't do the work for you, but we're here every step of the way and we walk you through what it looks like. We walk you through what it looks like to run that appointment. What does it look like to do the underwriting and going through trying to find options? That's what we do. We don't do it for you. That is how you learn, and that's the only way we all learn is by doing the system and working all of it. Like you doing is how you're going to learn the most. So you're not doing the work for them, but you just show them. Okay, you're showing them, and then they go then do on their own. So number 4, you earn overrides. So I will go over how the override systems work on the next couple of slides. But your agents start at 80%. You earn the difference or spread between their contract rate and yours. So if you're at 80%, I'm at 100%, I would make 20% spread. And I'll go over like how it looks and why you would want to scale your agency, which is the next thing. The more agents that you have, the more premium that you write in business, and that all equates to income. So there's one person or there's 30 people, the more premium is going to make the most money. So you can't do the same one person as 30 people would do, just impossible. So that's why you would want to scale your agency. So how do the overrides work? So here's just a quick little what it looks like as a $50,000 agency. 15,000 is going to be me, the agent that I'm writing on business. And then all the people here on the right-hand side are agents that I've brought into the business that I've helped mentor and bring them on. These are the spreads that you make at these different ranks. Or ranks, I don't know why I said ranks, but these different levels, those would be the spreads you would make. And I'm going to go through like what each one looks like on the next slides because that gets a little tricky. But a $50,000 agency, what was it? 202,000 was on your own personal pen as a full-time agent. And then here is like an extra 50,000 just by bringing people into your business per year. So that's with only 6 people there. If you have more agents, it's going to be more. So here's a single agent example. So if you just had me and say I had Lindsay on my team, it's just the 2 of us. New agent is an 80% contract, writes $1,000 premium. Okay, they earn $800. If I was at 100%, I would have 20% that the carrier would pay me for helping Lindsay do the business. So as the mentor and you get contracted with the carriers, when you help somebody with their business and getting, stuff written, the carrier is going to pay you the spread in between what that contract rate is and what you're at. So if Lindsay was at 80% and I'm at 100%, that's 20% spread that carrier would send me also $200 for you writing the policy, but I didn't write it, but I still got paid because you're helping people. This is leverage. You use this as leverage in your business The more people that you can help, the more people that you can mentor, the more policies get written. Okay. That makes sense? Next, if you have a small team, okay, you have 5 agents in your business. Say each are writing $10,000 a month. Okay. $10,000 in business a month. That's an extra 50,000 annual premium volume in your business. That's only from 5 agents writing $2,500 a week. That's very, very doable in most cases. Most agents are going to come in and write about at least 10,000 a month because they're focusing on 2,500 a week or 5,000 a week because that's kind of the goals. But then look at that, 50,000 extra in a month in your business, and you can be at an average 20% override. You're bringing in an extra $10,000 on top of whatever you wrote yourself. So if I'm writing 15,000 by myself, and then I'm getting $10,000 in passive income, that makes your income 25,000 instead of just 15. And that's just for having 5 agents. Okay. So it keeps multiplying as you go. As you grow, bigger vision, you dream bigger. 10 agents, say 10 of them did 10,000 a month. That would be an extra 20 grand a month in overrides on top of your personal production. So here, if you have, even if you wrote 20,000 by yourself, okay, and you were at 100% contract, okay, pretend you were at 100%, that's 20,000 by yourself if you were at 100%. But how much prettier would it look if you had a few agents on your team and you helped them a little bit and then you make an extra 20,000? That's 40 grand a month for you writing 20 and you helping 10 people make $10,000. Okay. That is what the vision is for this business. And if you are looking for something that has unlimited, when I say unlimited, there is no caps. They won't cut you off at certain amounts of money. You have zero caps on what you can make here. Whatever it is that you want, you can get it. You just have to do the work. And when I'm saying doing the work, it means putting in the work and not complaining. Or if you complain, have a solution for something. Like if you're going to say, I don't like this or I don't like that, what's your solution to make it to where it works for you? Because it doesn't have to, like I said, you do not have to buy leads. Okay. You do not have to. Now, if you tell me I don't want to buy leads, but I want to make $10,000 a month and I have no idea where I'm going to find clients, that's not a solution. But if you tell me I don't want to buy leads, but I am going to all these networking events, I am posting on social media, I am not a secret agent, I am sharing with everyone I know, those are two different things. You tell me you want 10,000 and you tell me I'm going to go do all these things, or you tell me I want 10,000 and I don't want to do any of them and I don't want to buy leads. Those are the kind of people that get washed out immediately. They don't even last. They just fall off and you never hear from them again. But the ones that know that they can make more and do more and know that there is this huge possibility out there and there are families out there that we can help that are not being stuck doing GoFundMe's, those kind of people are the ones that really, really, really shine here. Like really, really, really shine and do really well. So if you are somebody I'm a go-getter, I know I have to invest. Like if you're starting a business, a brick and mortar business, for instance, you're starting a pizza place, you have to pay for a lot of things, the furniture, the supplies, you have to pay for cleaning supplies, you have to pay for staff and payroll. And there's so many things that are costs that you have to have. When you have this business, the only cost is I like to say marketing costs. Like it's kind of like a marketing cost. So you're inviting people to your business. That's kind of what a lead is. A lead is kind of like you're inviting them to come inside. You just call them and you get that all set up. But the amount of overhead is so small, even if you're doing 10% of what you're like, say you wanted to make 100,000, 10,000, okay, $10,000 a week. That's a lot to make. But something like that, you would be investing about $1,000 at least, probably a week on leads if you wanted to make 10,000. So those are just some things that I like to look at and go over and make sure people are understanding, because a lot of people, and It could be you. But a lot of people are looking for jobs. Like, I want to make $20 an hour, and that's what I want. If that's what you want, it's probably not going to happen in life insurance. Only because most companies are commission only. And if you do find someone that's paying hourly or like having a set pay, it's probably an independent agent who's having you help, or you're having to do kind of alt life health and property and casualty. Those ones typically will have some hourly, like commission or hourly pay plus commission. But if you're looking at just life, it's mostly going to be just commission. So then it's for you, then just determining what company aligns with you, what person aligns with you. Find the person that you want to partner with that you feel aligned with. Like, I would not want to be partnered with somebody that I don't want to talk to, you know? So like for me, I love my mentor. I can call him anytime and he's always there to help. I would not be the same or feel the same if I didn't like who I'm partnering with. So what your whole goal is, and there's so many options out there for y'all. There's so many companies, there's so many agents you could partner with, but my thing is find what you're really passionate about. What is the long-term goal? Are you looking for something that's going to last a long time that you can, give to your kids down the line? Or are you looking for something that I just want to produce and I want to start at 100% commission and I don't want to pay for leads? That's not going to be here. You'll want to find something else out there. And there are places like that that give you free leads, but it's just like, okay, here's this notebook, go out and call all these people. So for one, I would rather pay for leads that are credible leads versus somebody giving me free leads and then you thinking that it's going to turn into something and it doesn't. So my tip is just find what your goal is for your future. If it's an hourly pay, find that, work that, and then if a commission only something happens later and it makes sense to you, then go that route. But if you're a go-getter and you're like, I could do all that, I can make that 100,000 in a month. Like, I could do that, or I can do 5 agents on my team, or I can do personal production of 30,000 and not be upset about paying for leads. Or if you, like I said, if you have a way to get free leads yourself, by all means, use it all. Use it all. I use it all. I use the leads. I use social media. I use family. I use friends. I use all of it. Any way I can get it out there. Networking groups, I do that too. Anyway, you could get leads. But if you have a certain goal in mind, money wise, if you don't have a way to do it out on the outside, then the leads is going to be basically the only way you're going to get to those goals. So here's the next thing that I just wanted to share. These are some of the trips that were with our carriers last year. So last year, these were the ones from this year. I haven't changed that slide, but these were all the ones from last year in 2024 that they went to. The one in Las Vegas was a Super Bowl. That was a Mutual of Omaha one. And holy cow, did they spoil the heck out of those people that earned that trip. They were like VIP at the stadium in Las Vegas. It was insane. Like, they were going down in the locker rooms, meeting all the players. I don't even know. Like, it was just insane. So these are just some of the trips that you can earn, and they're all carrier. Like, usually carrier have the sponsored trips. So you have a carrier you love, Mutual of Omaha or American Amicable. You write a lot of business with that carrier because they usually have, like, you got to issue 40,000 with one carrier. You're not going to want to spread that out with 20 different ones. You want to find one that you love on the trip you want to go on and say, hey, I'm going to write a lot of American Amicable this year, whatever it might be, or Mutual of Omaha. And then you can earn trips that way too. So here's some things like what it takes. Licensing. Most of you are either licensed or getting licensed. If you're not already or not already in the process, I have ways to save you on the course that you have to take if you have to take it in your state. I also have the partnership with Melissa Dillon with the Insurance Exam Queen. She helps people pass tests all the time, which most of you probably found me through her. And I have worked, I don't think I told this story, but Melissa and I worked together at USAA 15 years ago. So her and I have been friends for a very, very, very long time. And when we were, So I met my husband also at USA, but 15 years ago, Melissa and I were in training to do homeowners insurance. So we were only auto and renters at the time. And so we were going in to learn how to do homeowners policies. And so we were in that class together. We walked into the class and my husband's the instructor. So that's how my husband and I met. He was our instructor for homeowners insurance. So cool. And I love to say this, but my husband trained Melissa Dillon in insurance 15 years ago. How cool is that? Like she's so massive and has this huge business, but we were all kind of a part of it in the earlier life that she was, she was like, I think she was only like 22 when we worked together. So she was young, she was having fun in her life. It was just so cool. So it's so fun to be able to watch her evolve into what she is now from us being with her when she was 22 years old. So I'm super grateful for her and the vision that she has for everyone in like out there. She really is wants everyone to build residual income. She really, really does. And she doesn't want a lot of people just settling into a job. She wants people to see the vision of what's possible with your license. So, whatever that takes you, whatever that might be, whether it's here, whether it's working for somebody, whether it's, whatever it is, she wants big things for everyone. She wants you all to succeed and make huge amounts of money. And you don't do that by staying stuck in one little place because of fear or scared mindset. Melissa Dillon, Insurance Exam Queen, would not be what it is today had she ever been scared or worried what people think. Or, she tells stories all the time like she had no money and she decided to start this online YouTube channel to teach people how to start, pass exams. That was 3 years ago, and she is now into $1 million a year already, plus that she has built because she's not scared, and she wants every one of you to do the same for yourself. So whatever that looks like, go out and get it. Go do huge things for yourself because you deserve it. You all have worked for this license. You have all done what it takes to do something good and something big. Go out and do it. Whatever that looks like, whether it's with me or whether it's with anyone else, you have the ability to do big things for yourself and do it. Go out and do it. So, another thing, you plug into trainings, mentorships, be coachable, be willing to learn. Like I already said, the work ethic, whether it's part-time or full-time, whatever that looks like, be consistent at whatever that is. If I decide I want to work 15 hours a week, great. Make sure that's the 15 you work every week so that it stays a routine and it becomes part of your daily life. That happens a lot when people have like a job outside of this and they're doing it part-time. Just be consistent, whether it's an hour before you go to work and an hour after work. That happens a lot too. Work on the East Coast, you can call on the West Coast and then later in the evening, whatever it looks like. But we already have a system in place, so you do not have to reinvent anything. The systems on our side are already there. But again, that part of the willing to invest in yourself and your business is going to be huge, whether it's here or whether it's with another company. You're going to want to invest in personal development because it takes a lot to work for yourself. You'll want to invest in leads or whatever that looks like. And if you're wanting to build something, you may have to invest in recruiting. I don't do that because I do have Melissa that I partner with, and I am able to post enough on social media that I am able to build an agency, but some people are not. And so people invest in recruiting and that kind of thing of building their agency, putting job ads out there. But you have to be willing to do that if you will ever succeed in a 1099 business. So that is all of the tips that I had on these. But if you are already licensed if you're not licensed and if you want to still get licensed, feel free to reach out to me and I'll send you the code that I use. And instead of it being 200, I think, or 199 to take the online course, I have it for $49. So I have a code that I can send to anyone who is looking to get licensed, but they're not yet. They haven't started the course or anything. I have that code I can send to you. And then obviously Melissa's out there too. And if you're already licensed and you're this sounded interesting to you, we can set up a time to talk if you want. Or if you're just like, I think I could do this, I want to go, just feel free to reach out and I can send you contracting stuff and we can get you contracted with the carriers. Um, two of the carriers will allow you to write policies even before you're contracted. So as long as you've submitted the contracting, it takes a few days for things to start coming through, but two of the carriers, Mutual of Omaha and American Amicable, do allow you to submit applications. It just won't get issued or processed all the way through until you're contracted, but it allows you to at least go through that process. And then like the whole thing, we get through that first phase of training. We talk and figure out what your income goals are and what it's going to look like. Like, what should that actually look like? If I wanted to make $1,000, how much, like, what would I have to do to make $1,000 in a week? What would it look like, or what would I need to do to make 2,500 a week? Whatever that is, we will go through that and say, okay, this is what I would say. You probably need to dial this many dials a day, or you probably need to do this, or whatever that looks like. That was where we would start coaching and doing stuff at that point. And then that's pretty much it. So if you're already licensed, looking for something now, we're ready for you. If you're not licensed and need help getting licensed, we have codes to help you get it cheaper. And yeah, let me look at these. She does rock. Melissa is amazing. She is. Oh, that's awesome. Well, cool. So talk to me, Amanda. Send me a message. Let's chat. I won't tell anyone you're here. I don't even know who your upline is, so I will not. Lindsay's licensed in Illinois. If you are here and you have questions, feel free to unmute and ask while I'm looking at the chats. Who owns the book? You own your book of business. Yes. Yes, ma'am. No. You went to, oh, Anita, you went to Engage. I did too. It was so amazing. Are you stuck if you want to leave? No, you are not stuck. The only way that you are kind of stuck is if you have like chargebacks or you owe carriers money and you haven't paid it. So if you have something like I've had one agent that was wanting, like she was going to work for like a captive agent, but she had a chargeback with a carrier, so they wouldn't release her contracting because it was like $800 she had to pay. Once she paid it, then they are immediately released. As long as you don't owe the company money for any reason or like do some, weird stuff, then you get released. It's no big deal because it's up to your agency owner. So I wouldn't want somebody I wouldn't want somebody on my team that didn't want to be there. So I'd be like, okay, you don't want to be here? You can go, Debbie, can you, I'm going to send you my cell phone number. Text me and I will send you the discount code because it's a link I have to send to you. So I'm going to send you my cell phone. Send me a text. Actually, if you can fill this, the QR code, and then I'll reach out to you from that. But any other questions? Anything else that we can answer? I can answer. Hi, Jasmine. I'm glad you came on. So I talked to Jasmine yesterday. She is 19 years old, you guys, and already licensed and ready to, she like decided she wanted to do this while she was in high school. Like, how cool. I was so impressed by that. I was like, oh my gosh, how cool is that somebody thought to do something like this at that age? Like I was 44 when I decided to do this. Like, that's crazy. 19 is crazy. But you're amazing, Jasmine. Text me and we will get you going. Or we can get back on the phone too if you want to chat more too. But my cell phone number, you guys, I'm going to put it here in the chat too. 623-203-0364 is my cell phone number. When you text, if you're texting and you didn't fill out the form, just send me your name. And then like what state you're in and if you're licensed yet, just so that I can kind of put your name on who I'm talking to. But yeah, text me with any questions, anything that you have. I'm here. I can answer any questions. I'm an open book. I will answer truthfully. If I, like I said earlier, if I don't feel a good vibe with somebody, I'm not going to have them on my team. And I feel the same, and I want you to do the same for you too. You want to find and work with people that you have a connection with, that you know that you can call at any point and it's not going to be weird. Or, like you don't want to dread calling or talking to somebody. So find the person that you feel connected with and get started with them for sure. You do not need to be licensed in multiple states. So you don't have to. I mean, it's very helpful, especially if you are like have limited time or work during the day or anything like that. A lot of people will get licensed, like extra licenses in different time zones so that they're able to, call at different times of the day. Like for me, like if I wake up at 5 in the morning, I can call East Coast because I'm in Phoenix and it's Pacific time, so it's 3 hour difference. I can call East Coast if I wanted to get up and get an hour in before my day started. I can start dialing clients. Or if you're in the East Coast and you want to work later, you can get like Oregon or Washington or Hawaii or Alaska or something like that you can call in the evenings, your time. But it's not required. You don't have to have that many. It's just personal preference. We started just getting licenses like if we had friends or family in a certain area. So like we had Texas, we had New Mexico, we had just had different ones like where our friends and family were, just because we're like, yes, we're definitely going to be writing policies for our friends and family. We didn't, but we still got the licenses. But it's okay. It is what it is. Um, okay. How do you say your name? Is Alcira? Alcira? I know I'm jacking that up. Send me a text. I'm gonna send you.
Yes, yes, my name is Elcira. How are you?
See that? I love it. How pretty. I am good.
Thank you.
What questions do you have?
Yeah, I have license and property and casualty license. I'm
Okay.
getting. I have my final exam, the state exam next week for life.
Okay.
And then in 2 more weeks, I'm gonna have the health. I already buy the whole thing,
Okay.
and I already scheduled. But I have a bunch of questions. It's not only one thing, so
Yeah.
I don't want to take a lot of your time. But I have a bunch of questions because I really like it so much. This
Yeah.
kind of
Hmm.
um this kind of information. But I have so many
Why
questions.
don't you send me a text and then we can schedule a time to just get on the phone.
That text. What is your number? Is it six?
623. I'll put it in
Okay.
the chat too. 623-203-0364.
And what is your name?
Charmaine.
623 and 203, right?
Yep.
203.
Yep.
Um,
0364.
0364.
Yep.
0364.
Yep.
Um, uh,
And when you text me, I'll send you the spelling and everything so that
Charmaine, you said Charmaine? How do you
Charmaine, yes.
Charmaine? How do you spell it? I don't know.
It's
Charmaine.
CHARMAINE.
Okay. R and Charmaine and the last name?
And last name is Cross. Cross.
Cross. And your company is the Cross Life Insurance, right?
Uh-huh. Yep.
All right. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
text me and we can set up a time to get on the phone and just kind of you can ask all the questions and see if
Mhm.
it's a fit for you. And if it is, it is. And if it's not, it's not. But it's good to talk to someone on the phone just to, get a feeling for each other.
Yeah, thank you very much for
Of
sure.
course.
When I can call you when I finish the class, or what moment do you think?
No, it's just send me a text. We can even talk before. Yeah, just send me a text and we'll just schedule a time to call during the week, anytime.
All right, perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
we don't have to wait till you're licensed. We can talk before.
Oh, no, 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 no. I was talking about when we finish the class right now. Oh, when
Oh,
we finish.
oh, yeah, yeah. Send me a text. Just send it after, and I'll respond after.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very
Thank you so
welcome.
much. Thanks a lot for your time.
Of course. Let's see if I missed anything. I don't think I did, but if you have any other questions, feel free to unmute and we'll take one more and then the rest we can answer over text. I got I'll text you right now. I just got your missed call, so I'll text you so you save my number. Alrighty. Well, I
Thank
appreciate
you.
y'all.
Thank you.
I will have the recording for this. So if you want the recording, just send me a text also, and I'll get you the recording out. And if you could share it with people that you know, or if you are looking to build, you can kind of share like, hey, we could do this together. We can work together. We can build running buddies. Like you can share with your friends and family too. So anyways, I'm gonna go have dinner now. I hope you guys have a good night and good luck if you are taking your exams. I wish you all the luck. And again, go out and make Melissa proud, y'all. Have a good day.